Lord, I think Dolores is going to turn Faraji from a Muslim to a Christian. All right. On December 19, 538 presidential electors will cast their votes for the next president and vice president of the United States. The Electoral College has a final say when it comes to presidential elections, and if the majority votes against Trump, his position as president-elect will be revoked. It will take 270 electoral votes to secure a Trump presidency. Well, joining me now by phone from Dallas is Christopher Suprun, a Republican presidential elector who will vote against Donald Trump, even though Trump won Texas and all of the state's electors. Christopher, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Why do you say there is no way you can vote for Donald Trump for president?
Well, I think in part because of what they said yesterday on the Today program. He is not a uniter. He's a divider. There are multiple constitutional reasons, but, you know, he has not united the country since the election, and the previous 18 months he has not done it either. He has a clear conflict of interest financially. He clearly likes to pick favorites. Dolores was talking a little bit ago about how he's going to help hardworking Americans, yet last night he went after a union boss at the carrier plant he was supposedly helping, and there's at least 50 Republicans who are national security and foreign policy experts who said during the campaign he's completely unqualified and would be a dangerous president. And
in fact, the Electoral College, first of all, which was a compromise dealing with the issue around the issue of slavery, Alexander Hamilton talked about that. It was set up specifically to prevent someone who is wholly unqualified to be president of the United States.
You're correct. And that's what I hope to do, is to take the right stand, a stand that is not lazy, but is measured and thoughtful and deliberative.
And have you got any pushback from people?
Well, I've gotten a lot of feedback. There are people in Texas who are furious with me. I understand that, but I am not going to be a rubber stamp. Again, I plan to be thoughtful and deliberative. But I've also gotten feedback from across Texas, from across this great country, and from outside the country saying this minor action, just putting out the op-ed that we did in the New York Times, has restored their faith in America. And when you start seeing the outpouring of love from people where they're saying, thank you, somebody is saying the right thing, even if you're not successful, we are explaining the truth and is what it is, that's important, that's valuable.
Did you vote for Trump?
I did not.
And how were you chosen as an elector?
Electors are generally chosen at their state party convention, as I understand it. That's how I was chosen at the Republican state convention.
So you are a Republican?
Absolutely. I served 2 governors straight out of college back in the late 90s as a special assistant. I participated in other Republican conventions as a delegate at the state level. I tend to have conservative views. I think you and I might even disagree on some issues, but this isn't about issues. This is about who should be president and do they meet the constitutional test that's required.
And the way this works is so let's say if 38 electors flip, then all of a sudden it goes to the House of Representatives. And so is it your hope that, I would assume it's your hope that not that it will flip to Hillary Clinton, that the House of Representatives will choose another Republican to serve as president?
Well, and that's my plan. I intend to vote for a Republican, someone who's got great executive and legislative experience. I'm not sure who that person is. But when I speak to other Republican electors, even some Democrats, when you ask about an alternative, one name comes up again and again, and it is John Kasich. I know he said no thanks at this point, and I understand that, but his name does still come up in the conversation repeatedly.
And again, Alexander Hamilton wrote in the Federalist Papers, quote, that the office of the president will never fall to the purpose of the Electoral College is to ensure, quote, that the office of president will never fall to the lot of any man who is not in any eminent degree endowed with the requisite qualifications. He says that the point of the Electoral College is to preserve the sense of the people. Your final thought?
Well, I agree with him. But again, Alexander Hamilton also recognized that a mob mentality should not exist either, and that the Electoral College is a bit of an emergency brake. We can stop things from running off the rails with this vote on December 19th.
And do you believe that 37 others will join you?
You know, when I first wrote the op-ed, I was writing it as one individual. But again, based on the outpouring of support and the people now reaching out to me, I don't know if we'll get to 37, but I'm starting to believe very strongly that I won't be alone.
All right, December 19th is a date. We will see. Christopher, thanks a lot.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.